G'day, welcome back to the channel. I want to talk about batteries today. It doesn't matter how good your ESCs are, or your motors, your airframes, or your flight controller, or your radio control system. If your batteries are crap, you're not going to have a good day. And yeah, there's quite a range of batteries on the market, although I don't think there's that many actual factories making batteries. I think a lot of them come from the same factory or nearby factories. So, you know, choosing batteries, it's a difficult task because it also depends on what's available in your area, what you can afford. So it's not an easy task. And so when China Hobbyline sent me some batteries, as other companies have done in the past, I thought, yeah, well, I could just throw this in a quad and fly it around and say, yeah, it's great or it's crap. But I know, and I think everyone out there watching this video also knows, that sometimes batteries start off really good and then they basically spew after a fairly short period of time. And also how you treat them as a factor. Some batteries will withstand massive amounts of punishment, and others will just die if you ever discharge them below 3.3 volts a cell. They never come back properly. They're always horrible after that, and they puff and so forth. So I thought, yeah, they sent me these quite a few months ago, and I thought, I'm not going to rush a review out on this because, you know, these are a big investment. Especially if you're flying freestyle mini quads or something like that, you may be buying 10 batteries at a time. You don't want to spend that amount of money on something that's just crap. So I'm going to tell you about my experiences with these China Hobbyline batteries. Now, as I say, other companies have sent me batteries before. You know, I got sent the graphenes from Hobby King. They sent those, and they're a fairly good battery. You know, they're pretty good, not bad battery. I've had batteries from Tattoo. Tattoo have sent me batteries in the past, and I've got to say the earlier ones, the ones like this, yeah, not such a fan. I don't know, these things, they never really stood up well for me. They always got soft pretty quick, and they didn't hold their voltage under load so well. The R lines apparently are better. This is the only R line I've got. And I was talking to Thomas and Paul Bitmata, who are sponsored, I think, by Tattoo. And Thomas really likes the Tattoo R lines, but they're a premium battery. You pay quite a price for them. And Thomas, he gets them for free, as do a lot of others. I mean, they sponsor a lot of people in the hobby, so it's always good news. If someone's sponsoring people in the hobby, you know, it's a few extra brownie points in my eyes, because it does mean that they're supporting the hobby. But again, the money's got to come from somewhere, so are you getting the best value battery if they've got enough profit to start throwing money back at people? I don't know. I'm not going to go there. That's politics. We don't want to go into politics. Yeah, so as I say, I've had batteries sent from a number of different suppliers, and generally I've done the usual, let's fly it around a few times, see how it works, and you know, they've been okay. The graphenes, these 2-energy graphenes, they made all sorts of bold claims for these. I don't know that they hold up to the bold claim, 600 cycles without losing any capacity or much capacity. But I do know these are very solid. These are what I call a hard battery. And by that I mean they deliver virtually all their power at a pretty high voltage. So they don't just decay slowly as you start drawing the power out of them. They seem to hold up really well, and then they just dump. It's like someone throws a switch and then the whole thing falls out of the sky. I had to completely change the way I set my telemetry alarms when I was flying these batteries, because previously when my low voltage alarm kicked in, I'd have like 30 seconds worth of flight time left. That was plenty of time to get back and land at my feet. With the same alarms, these things would fall from the sky within 5 or 6 seconds of the low voltage alarm going off. And that's how quickly these things just dump themselves. In a race situation, that is very good. You want every watt to be delivered at the maximum voltage for maximum performance. So racing, hey, but again, these are quite heavy, and in racing, weight is a factor. So there's all swings and roundabouts. But I don't want to talk about those other batteries because I've already reviewed them. I want to talk about these China Hobby lines. As I say, got these quite a few months ago, and I've been thrashing the backside off them. And I have to say, they perform pretty well. They're not the best performing battery I've ever had, I've got to say, right from the start. They're not the best performing battery I've ever had. But they perform certainly well enough for me and my requirements. The internal resistance is probably higher than these. I mean, these are really hard. These sag a little bit more under heavy loads, even though they're rated to 120C. I don't think any battery manufacturers these days are honest about the C rating. I honestly don't. I think it's all just a pack of lies. It's not China Hobbyline fault. I'm not dissing them in any way. They've got to put a number on there. They put that number on there. But I say judge batteries by the way they perform. These perform perfectly well in my mini quads, even when I'm hammering them. And yeah, even though I'm old and shaky, I still hammer them sometimes. I give them hell. And these hold up really well. I'm very impressed with the way these hold up. So no complaints there. And look, this pack is, I don't know, it must be like 4 or 5 months old now. It's been hammered, and look, it's solid. There's no puffiness, no puffing at all. It is just rock hard, which to me means that the battery chemistry is still good. You know, when the packs get old and they get a bit puffy, it generally means that things are breaking down, there's gas being liberated, you know, you're not going to get the same capacity, your internal resistance will go up. This thing is still a square block. It is still a block of battery, not a balloon of battery, and that's really important. So in that respect, very, very good. Another thing I've noticed with this is I think that China Hobbyline, they underspec their batteries. I have flown this down to a pretty low voltage because I wanted to test these. I wanted to thrash them. I wanted to give them real abuse. Some of them I treated with kid gloves. Some of them I gave real abuse. I see very little difference in the results. They take a beating really well. I've taken these down to 3.2 volts a cell, and then when I recharged it, it took 1350 milliamps. But it's a 1300 milliamp battery. So they're overrated somewhat in terms of capacity and still good as gold. Just a little tip, if you do over discharge your batteries, get them back to storage within the shortest possible time, because the longer you wait, the more likely it is that the chemicals will break down. So when I over discharge a battery, I throw it straight on the charger, bring it back up to storage. So, but these, yeah, fantastic for people who aren't top racing caliber. Brilliant. I cannot fault these batteries because they are such good value. And ultimately, we don't buy on pure performance. We don't buy on pure price. We buy on the value. You know, what are you getting for your dollar? How much bang for your buck? And these, I haven't found a battery that gives me more bang for my buck than these. And that's ultimately the bottom line. If I'm buying batteries, I can afford to buy more of these than the expensive ones. And they last. They just damn well last. And if you didn't believe that we've been thrashing these China Hobbyline batteries here, take a look at that one. This one's had a hammering. It's slightly puffy, but this one has been discharged to the point where the quad won't fly anymore quite a few times. It is supposedly a, what does it say on the book? It's a different series. It is a, I can't even see the C rating on this one. So I don't know, but this is the FBV Plus series. Probably not designed for quite so much current discharge, but look, I mean, basically this one just got totally abused and then had a crash and it started splitting it was so hot it split the heat shrink. You know, the heat shrink split because it's puffed up. But you get that. Or should I say, any battery will do that if you abuse it long enough, as we did. There you go. This was actually Tim's battery, so you know why it's in such bad shape. But hey, I may throw this on the charger. I have a feeling it'll still take a pretty good charge and still work reasonably well. I think Tim just discarded it because it may not be totally safe. Fair enough. That's what you do with lipos you're not sure of. So yeah, on a mini quad, these things, brilliant, bloody fantastic. In fact, they sent me just a small number, and I thought, I like those batteries so much I went and bought a whole lot more, especially for my smaller quads. I just went, because they're so affordable, I went and bought a whole heap. You know, I could have said, oh, please send me more free batteries, but no, these people are making a good product. It's affordable, so hey, I spent the money. And I guess that's the ultimate test of a product. If I am going to go and spend my own money on it, then I think it's a good product. I think it works. I think it's great. And of course, I've got an EDF there, and this thing works a treat. A giant block of lithium, 5,000 milliamps, 6S. These are quite common in EDFs. Brilliant. Holds up so well. But as I say, the one thing I like about these versus the graphenes for general use, for freestyle and for sport models, is these things don't fall off a wall. You can tell if you're starting to get down a bit because you feel it in the throttle. You can feel, okay, yeah, voltage is down a bit. If you're not running telemetry, you know it's time to land because the battery is feeling a little lower in voltage, and that is a good thing for a sport model. You don't want your EDF to be flying perfectly well 1 minute and then suddenly have the motor switch off 10 seconds later, as happens with some of the harder graphene packs. So I'm chuffed to bits with these batteries. I would certainly recommend these as a purchase. All my future battery purchases will be these things. They're not sponsoring me. I'm not getting free stuff like Stingy. I'm just telling you what I'm going to buy with my own money. In fact, there's another shipment due. It's just arrived in the country. I should have it here in the next day or so. I ordered more of these and they didn't have them in stock. So I got the 1500 milliamp ones, which are just fine. So yeah, next, if you're on the fence, you don't know, go and buy a couple. Try them out. See what you think. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If you're already using China Hobbyline, let me know, because I'd love to hear what other people what their experiences are, and we can share that with the people who watch these videos, and everyone is better off. So tell me, if you've used these batteries, tell me what you think. Now, I'm sure there'll be people who say, oh, they're terrible, I had one that caught on fire, burnt my house down. Yeah, that's the same with all lipos, but we'll try and get a consensus. So please go into the comments and tell me if you've used these batteries or the China Hobbyline batteries, any of the series they have, and what your experience has been with them. And what is your preferred battery of choice at the moment? And tell us what you do with it. Are you a hardcore racer, or are you a freestyler, or are you just a sport flyer? So, and what batteries do you use and why? Do you just simply buy the cheapest batteries you can get, or do you just buy whatever batteries you can get? Because one of the problems we've got here in New Zealand is getting batteries. It's very hard. FedEx won't ship to New Zealand. A lot of the mail won't carry them to New Zealand. It's really difficult. So yeah, go. If you're in America, they have an American warehouse for the China Hobbyline batteries. I'd say go to the American warehouse and pick them up there. That's obviously the best place. There is a Chinese warehouse, but I think the American one also ships to other countries. So check out the American warehouse for China Hobbyline batteries. And I won't make a bean out of this video in terms of kickback because there's no affiliate links. Oh damn, we've got drag racing today at the airfield, big noises. Can you hear that? That's why my videos are short. I have to get them in between runs. There you go. If you've got questions, comments, anything to say, then please do the comments with you. I'd love to hear your feedback on this one because batteries are just so important to the hobby. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.